An old mentor of mine had a name for a certain kind of customer. He called them $1,000 millionaires. I spent 23 years in the car business. I met this man 1,000 times. He'd sit down at my desk wanting the new truck. The credit application asks for one number, household income, before taxes. He writes it down, big number. Then I pull the credit report, and the debt on that report is bigger than the number he just wrote down. He owes more than the household makes. In a year, before taxes. I've had that guy come from the gated neighborhood on the lake. Multi-million-dollar house. Credit score, 505. Not because he didn't pay his bills, because he owed so much the income couldn't keep up. And here's the part I could never forget. Sometimes I'd tell them straight, this deal doesn't help you. Don't buy this car. You know what every single one of them said? Where do I sign? This is his audit.
Start in the driveway. The truck, brand new, chrome grille, and not $1 of it paid off. The average payment on a new Ford F-150 right now is $970 a month. Not the fancy trim, the average. 60 months of that. And a truck loan has a rule the brochure doesn't mention. Miss 3 payments in a row, and you find out who really owns it. Here's a hint. It's not the guy washing it every Sunday. $970 every month. That's item 1. The boat sits on a trailer 340 days a year. The average boat loan is $54,000, and at today's rates, over 15 years, that's about $529 a month. 15 years. The kids will be in college. The boat will be worth a fraction of the loan. The payment will still show up like clockwork. $529. Item 2. Even the watch. $11,000 retail. Financed, because of course it is. At typical watch financing terms, that's $550 a month for a clock. Add it up. Truck, boat, watch. $2,049 every month. The median American household brings home about $6,900 a month before taxes. So the driveway is eating nearly a third of the paycheck. Before the mortgage. Before food. That's not a lifestyle. That's a subscription to looking rich. Now the part I watched for 23 years. What happens when this guy trades the truck in? He still owes more than it's worth. That's called negative equity. And this quarter, nearly 30% of trade-ins on new cars were underwater. The average hole, $6,884. Then the business does something with that hole. And that's where the records start. Rolls it into the next loan. On top of the new truck. Those buyers are now averaging $944 a month, the highest number ever recorded. And they'll pay about $16,000 in interest alone before it's over. Dead loan, buried inside a new loan. I watched people do it 3 trucks deep. Nobody flinched. Everybody signed. Want to know how to spot one in the wild? Watch the mailbox. The mail shows up. And this guy walks out there like it's wired to blow. Because every envelope in that box is a payment he already spent. So let's audit the word owns. The truck? The bank holds a lien until the last payment clears. The house? Miss 3 or 4 mortgage payments and a federal clock starts ticking toward foreclosure. What he holds is a title with someone else's name on the lien line. But don't say he owns nothing. He owns plenty. He owns the payments. All of them. He owns every oil change, every set of tires, every repair on a truck that lost 1/5 of its value the first year. He owns the insurance bill. He owns the depreciation. He owns 100% of the downside of 3 machines he doesn't control yet. The stuff belongs to the lenders. The liability? That's all his. Free and clear. One more thing he owns that never crossed his mind. Every liability policy has a number on it. The most it will ever pay if something goes wrong out there. In some states, the required minimum is $25,000. In Florida, the required amount of bodily injury coverage is 0. Here's the thing about a lawsuit. It doesn't read your policy. Whatever a judgment says above that number, that's not the insurance company's problem. That's his. The wages. The house on the lake. The $1,000 millionaire is one bad afternoon from finding out what he really owns. So here's the audit, itemized. Looks like 6 figures. Pays $2,000 a month to keep looking that way. Owns the debt, the upkeep, the depreciation, and the downside. And not one of the toys. Nearly 1/3 of the paycheck. Gone before groceries. My mentor had it right. That's not a millionaire. That's a $1,000 millionaire. $1 million of liability. $1,000 at a time. Now you know how to spot one. Audited.